The first theme is about a mystery of the second chance, the mystery of the second opportunity. The second theme is how to get in touch effectively with the risen Jesus Christ. When Lucifer sinned against God, he was not given the second chance. He was not given the second opportunity to return into God's friendship. But when Adam and Eve sinned against God, they were given the second chance, the second opportunity to return into God's friendship through Jesus Christ. Therefore, God created us, the human beings, with much greater dignity in comparison to the dignity of the spiritual beings, spiritual invisible beings, the angels. In order to get in touch with the risen Jesus Christ effectively, we must believe that his suffering for each of us must have been infinitely worse and bigger than our own personal suffering, and infinitely much bigger and worse than the suffering of all the mankind and of all the creation. We must see the meaning, the sense, and the value of his suffering by applying the value of his suffering to our own personal suffering. When we accept our own personal cross for his sake, as he accepted his cross for each of us to save us, and when we offer our own personal cross to him as he offered his cross for each of us for our eternal salvation. Also, we must acknowledge that we cannot overcome our own personal sinfulness and the evil outside of us by our own strength and self-sufficiency. Therefore, we must acknowledge that Jesus said the truth when he said clearly to us that he is the vine, we are the branches, and without him we cannot do absolutely anything. Namely, without Jesus Christ's help, we cannot overcome our own personal sinfulness and the devil's temptations. Jesus said this quite poetically in the book of Maria Valtorta, entitled The Poem of the Man God. Jesus said, when God helps us, we can lift up the whole world like a baby's toy. But when God doesn't help us anymore, we cannot even lift up a flower from the ground. Once we develop this way of Christian thinking in our mind, then Jesus himself will help us to understand that our own personal suffering has a meaning and a value only with our participation in his cross and the suffering through our patience and humility. Actually, the basic point of Jesus Christ's teaching is to acquire patience and humility with his help. It is through patience and humility that we are able to believe in God. It is through patience and humility that we are able to accept ourselves and other people. And especially it is through patience and humility that we are able to forgive other people as Jesus forgave each one of us on the cross.